Thanks for Mona.
We'll never say it wrong again.
Well, that's okay. I'm actually got my name right. Sometimes people introduce me as Spooky Hand. The closer it gets to Halloween, the more often that happens. Then they ask me what my real name is, and I don't tell them once in a while, but today I feel like telling you my real name that I was born with is Spook McGillicuddy. Well, thank you all very much. We started off with a bunch of the traditional folk songs, or the more modern traditional folk songs. They're becoming tradition because they're an important part of our American history and heritage. And we're going to move on to some new songs. When I was a kid, I used to listen to Pete Seeger's songs all the time, not knowing that he was the guy who had written If I Had a Hammer, or Where Have All the Flowers Gone, or Turn, 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 or that he was the guy who taught Martin Luther King We Shall Overcome, or he was the one that made This Land Is Your Land famous, or he was the one that introduced, had a big part in introducing Bob Dylan to the folk community. And I never really knew that, and didn't really get to know a lot about Pete until a few years ago when I got a postcard from him. And apparently what happened is that he had heard one of my songs and asked me permission if he could sing. For those of you guys who know Pete, that's like, wow, yeah. Yeah, so Pete Seeger asked me permission to sing a song. He said, oh no, I have to talk to my lawyer. But what happened was I wrote a song called Vote. And it's about exercising our responsibility and our constitutional rights and freedoms. And Pete invited me up to play at the Pumpkin Festival up in Beacon, New York in 2003. If you've never been up there, it's a lot of fun. You wear orange and you bring your own spoons so you can have some pumpkin pie. And he came up and he introduced me, and I went up on the stage and he walked up next to me with his banjo and he said, "What key is he singing?" I didn't know he was going to play with me, so I said, "It's in the people's key." And then he said, I hope you're going to teach the song to the audience." And I leaned over and I said, "How do you do that? I've never done that before." You see, I'm not from the generation where everyone used to sit around, in their dormitories singing songs. I'm from the generation that didn't know about that kind of stuff. So I'm just learning how to get people to sing along. So Pete said, well, you know what you do? You sing the chorus, and then you teach the people the words and have them sing it back. Pretty simple. Except this has a lot of words, so I'll do one half at a time. We'll sing the whole chorus together. Okay, and then I'll teach you guys the words. This is called Vote. Vote. Don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever. Vote. For worse or for better, let your voice be heard. Okay, you think you can handle that? The first half, it's not that bad. The first half is vote. Don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever. Let's give that a try. Vote. Don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever. Vote for worse or for better, let your voice be heard. Vote for worse or for better, let your voice be heard. Let's try it all together, here we go. Vote. Don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever. Vote for worse or for better, let your voice be heard. That's not bad. Now, to help you guys out, Martin and Dennis are going to do sign language, New Jersey Sign Language, NJSL. So you can either remember the words or just watch them, we'll cue you in. When politicians come to town and kiss babies till their noses turn brown, you can bet your bottom dollar they want your vote. So speak your mind, because believe it or not, this world has become a big melting pot. It's easy to get yourself lost in the lot, but the world's made up of all kinds of people, so vote. Don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever. Vote for worse or for better, let your voice be heard. I hear you guys singing out here. You're pretty good, but I gotta tell you, you're only the second best audience I've had this week. Because we played a nursing home a couple days ago. We got fuzzy-headed, peace-loving, carrot-chomping farmer boys, skin-headed, neo-Nazi face, fashion paranoids, fat cats sitting back, scoffing at the tabloid. Yep. And there's cross-burning, homophobic, church-going family types, flag-burning, anti-war, give the poor more types. At a school, know-it-all, click-clay prototypes. The world's made up of all kinds of people, so don't you ever run the weather, get your butt in the booth, and pull down the lever and vote. For worse or for better, let your voice be heard. And it was right about this point in the song, Pete leaned over to me. He said, Spook, first time I heard this song, I got worried that last verse was going to offend half the people in the audience. Then I heard the next verse and realized it was going to offend the other half. We got men hating, aggravating, right-wing feminists, pro-life, clinic, burning, gospel-preaching terrorists, city-dwelling, unemployed folks who can't stay anymore. Sky-choking, river-killing, free-market advocates, tree-loving, owl-hugging, pro-environmentalists, urban folk high on dope, raising up their clenched fist. The world's made up of all kinds of people, so don't you ever mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever and vote. For worse or for better, let your voice be heard. What do you guys think to do? Now Farmer Josh lives up on the mountain, grows his own food, drinks from Mother Nature's fountain, only gets down into town around once a week. And all the pretty young gals from the nearby high school stop by his farm cause they think he's so cool, chewing on wheatgrass, spitting out philosophy. He says, looking at life cosmologically, we're all cells in the body of the Almighty. And with God like nature, we create our own reality. But down here on Earth, that's a different ball of wax. We gotta eat and pay all kinds of taxes and form governments and have laws to pass. Because the world's made up of all kinds of people, so vote. Don't you ever mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever and vote. For worse or for better, let your voice be heard. I think you did it, folks. I think you outdid that nurse. But it did occur to me that 2 weeks ago, we played at a bris. And you should have heard those guys singing. They were singing really nice. So let's try one more time and see if we can outdo those guys. Here we go. Nice loud. Folks, don't you never mind the weather, get your butt in the booth and pull down the lever, folks. For worse or for better,